Hello, everybody. Toast to you and all you do. I hope you're having a fantastic day and that your week is going really well. It's almost Friday. It's Thursday, so I'm doing an evening video again. It'll probably be the norm on Thursdays for now. Or maybe I'll do 2 videos some days because I got dance class. But anyways, I don't have dance class. But I have some time during dance class. So anyways, like I said, I hope everybody's doing well. Tonight I wanted to take some time to talk about introspection and that there can be a negative side to introspection, and that's when it becomes what is termed rumination. I don't know if you're familiar with the term ruminate, whatever, I'm probably saying it wrong. These are animals that chew cud. Rumination also means to chew your cud, which means to spit up the food that you've already eaten and chew it again. Which, when we're talking about thinking, is to relive or rethink the things over and over again. And it's different than introspection. With introspection, you're looking back to see a solution, to look for what you can do either next time or in the future or even now, or what your feelings are, as opposed to looking back to see what happened over and over and over again, and like replaying it, or just getting stuck in like a negative loop, like a negative thought process cycle, where you're like, okay, so the first thing that popped in my head is the solution or the problem or whatever, and then you just but that's not really it, and you just stop because of that, you have this internal bias that, oh, I know the answer, click, that's it. And so so then we can turn, I don't know, it's one of those things that's really hard to determine the difference. One article that I was just reading that really shows the difference is when we are asking what questions versus why questions. So I guess the beginning of our challenge this evening is worth talking about introspection, is to challenge yourself and think, and are you asking yourself what questions, or are you asking yourself why questions? When you are doing your self-evaluation and you're thinking about what you're doing and who you are you asking yourself why? Why did this happen? Why am I this way? Why? Or are you asking yourself, what happened? What can I do? What is there to do next? And I think that even in just saying that, you can kind of see the difference between the two questions. When we start saying what happened? What can we do next time? What could we have done differently? These are like productive questions to help you find a solution for next time, for future occurrence, for growing. When we say, why did that happen? Why did I do that? We are not looking for a solution, we're looking for blame. And if we're just pointing fingers, even if it's at ourselves or at other people or wherever the blame is being pointed, we're not finding the solution, we're just pointing. And it's an old saying, but when you point at something else, you have to remember you're pointing 3 fingers back at yourself. And if you're pointing at yourself, then now you're pointing all of your feet. Like, that's okay. And we're not looking for blame. That's not what introspection is about. It's not trying to place blame. And it's funny, anytime that I've had, like, I'll do a meditation on, like, why do I have these feelings of insecurity? And my guides will be like, well, it's not one thing. Like, this is all over the place and kind of, and not only are they showing me that I can't just say blame this one thing, they're also showing me, like, this is a collective thing, and you're not going to be able to just say, oh, that's it right there. Clean up that mess and we're good to go. Because it's everything. It's connected to all of these things. It's very interwoven. And you're going to have to find a solution, not continue to look and blame and point. So when you start doing your own introspection and you're thinking about it, just like last week when I said, what makes you angry and what makes you sad? Not why are you sad, but what makes you sad. And it's okay, so this is a different way to kind of see these things, is the whole what versus why. But the difference between saying you're dumb and you're acting dumb. I feel like that's kind of the same thing with why. When you're placing that blame and, oh, why did this happen? Why? You're really internalizing that blame. And even if you're saying, oh, somebody else did that, you're still like I said, you're pointing fingers back at yourself. And you're really internalizing that, and you're just like holding on to that. And you're like owning it. You're claiming it. You are becoming it. As opposed to when you say that someone is acting that way, they are not that. They're just right now picking up that trait. And so when we say what happened, okay, this is what happened. Now, what are we going to do to fix that? Or what are we going to do different in the next time? You are not owning that. This is what happened. That's the reality of it. But it's not blaming yourself. It's not accepting that as who you are. I don't know. I guess that's such a weird concept. I wish I had a better way to say it, but I don't, because it's just the way my brain is working. So, when you're doing introspection, if you find yourself in this circle, and you just keep coming around, and you find yourself saying, why? While you're in that circle, stop. Take a break from that thought. Walk away from it. Ground. Clear your head. Do breathing it. Just walk away for a minute. Come back to it later and say what? What happened? What can I do? What's going to happen next time? And kind of change that, and then you'll see, instead of it being just a cycle, it'll become a spiral. And you can move away from that and into a new loop and a new learning situation and moving forward, because we're asking what, not why. And we're not just sitting there chewing that same idea. I'll never forget, in one of my anatomy classes, we were talking about the fight or flight response and your brain responding and the hormones that happen and kick out and all of that stuff. And about it was like your brain and your amygdala and all that kind of hormonal stuff and the parts of your brain that light up when you start doing this. So, my teacher was like, 100,000 years ago, when we evolved to have this part of our brain, we were running from bears, we were freezing, we were starving, we were what's called an endurance hunter. So you needed that energy to just keep going. And now we are getting worked up about being stuck in traffic or an emotional situation. But these are not things that are like life-threatening. Sometimes we might feel like our feelings are life-threatening, but in reality, they feel that way because your brain is responding just as though you were being chased like a bear. And so you're getting this rush and all worked up and okay. So when you sit and you're chewing on that thought over and over and over again, and why did this happen, and why did this happen, and why did this happen, you keep going through your brain on why did this happen. That's all you're doing, is you're chewing that thought over and over again. You're building up the same fight or flight response in your brain, and you're just getting more worked up and more stressed out, and then it's really counterproductive, and it becomes very negative because you're blaming, mad, yucky feelings, emotions, all that stuff. So that's not the goal in all of this introspection. And if you've found over the last period that we've been working through this and through this time that you have gotten to those points, remember to stop. Like I said, stop. Take a break, walk away, and instead of asking yourself why, ask yourself what. Instead of chewing that thought again and again and again, what can I learn from this? What am I going to take forward? And how am I going to not let this happen again? Those are great questions. And yeah, just remember that. And not to get stuck in that thinking this over again and over again and over again and over again and over again. The point is to think it, what happened, move forward, and make it a spiral instead of a loop. So, many blessings to all of you. I hope that you are enjoying all of this introspective stuff and that you're learning and that it's helping you. And then, like always, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have a question, let me know. And I hope all is well. So, as always, let me toast to you. Thank you for joining me. I hope you all have a wonderful and fantastic rest of your evening, and many blessings to you and yours. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you in the morning.